So as I was explaining, right, in my previous session, I was explaining the data structure, and I told you like the Python data structure we're going to use to implement the actual data structure that we use in a day-to-day life. That these are the concept, okay? This stack, queue, these are the concept of the data structure that we will going to implement in several programming language. In Java, if we talk about, in Java we implement it with the collections like hash map, tree set, hash set, and linked list, array list, right? Similarly, in Python we implement this with the help of list, set, tuple, dictionary, right? And so these are the different kind of examples I given you. There are two more data structure that I wanted to discuss. That is your tree. Okay, three more. First, I'll link list. It is also the collection of data. Datas are arranged in some collections. It means that data are arranged in collection, and once the data are arranged in a collection, how they will going to represent the linked list normally represented like this. Let me show you. They are represented like this. Every node, this is called this square block, this square boxes. You might be thinking, what is this? This square box with respect to this linked list call as a node. What is node? Node is like which is holding your data. In linked list, node is holding data and address. Now what do you mean by this? It means that each node, this is your node, will be going to divide in a two part. Okay, node will divide in two parts. First is your data that you want to save it, like just like 1 2 3 we have saved. So first is your data, and next is your first is the data, and next is your address. First is your data, and next is your address. What do you mean by this? First is a data or next is an address. It means that each node will be going to divide here, like suppose this is I'm dividing here. Okay, each node will be holding your data. D is representing your data and A is representing your address. This address is representing what? This address is representing the next node. It means that this address will tell the address of the next node, so you can arrange those data in some sequence, or even if it is not in a sequence, this address will helpful to find this node in your memory. Okay, let me explain you. Let me save this data back. So you have a data and your address. So each node will have two things. What is two things? Data and your address. Address is for what? Address is pointing to the next element on in the list. Now if I say you, for example, 1243, right? So this one node is what? One node is holding the data 1, and this node will holding the address of this second node. Okay, so that's why once you process it, this node will tell you, okay, after me this second node is coming, and the address that you find it out inside the memory. Memory in the sense means RAM. Inside your RAM, how you're going to find out your data on this certain address. So after this processor, when they process it, they will process your first data, and then the flow will move to the second one. Okay, let me write down this and I will explain you in easy step. Address is pointing to the next element in the list. Let me save this, and then I will open another file. So now you can, as I was saying you, right? Suppose I've already told you how this list appear. See, we have like inside the memory, okay? This is your RAM. Inside the RAM, and you have a, suppose this is your processor, and this is your program. Let me write down and explain you. RAM, and this is your processor. Processor, okay, means your system processor, or compiler is also there. As I said, you right. Linked list means what? In the linked list, each node is divided into how many part? Four part, right? Or two part. Two part. Sorry. Two part. The node is divided. That is your data, and this is one address. Four I said because I created a four node. So data, and this is your address. Now let's say an example that you want to arrange a data in some sorted format. Sorted means you want to arrange in a sequence. So you arrange the data. This is a one. After that, what will come? Two, then three, and then four. And each this pointer is pointing to this node. Okay, this address, it is having some value. Okay, this dot may be something. It is having the value of this node. After the three, what is coming? Four. So it will pointing to this. And after this four, nothing is coming, so there is, suppose, not no value here. Now okay, let's take an example. Okay, so you have written some program. Okay, you have written the program in Python, and it will having a data like this one. Here suppose two, here suppose four, and here suppose three. Okay, you have written the program in a Python. Now when you run the program, okay, as we run the program, your program will be compiled by the compiler, right? Okay, your compiler will going to compile the program. Once it compile the program, with that, it will going to assign your program. First the program will be assigned to your memory. Whenever you write a program in any IDE, first this program will be run on the query, means run on the RAM memory. So this, inside this RAM memory, your program will run. Okay, inside this RAM memory, your program will run. Once it assigned to the RAM memory, it will going to compile. As you can see your compiler, right? So it will going to compile, and once you compile it, the processor will start working on this. Let me once again explain you the whole scenario. See, the Python program, when you write it, you save somewhere, right? Maybe in a hard disk, you save in a desktop, or a download something, right? So when you double click on it, so first what happens? Your program will come to your RAM, because unless it come to the RAM, it won't execute. So your program will come to the RAM. Once it come to the RAM, you compile that program. So you compile this program, so processor also start working at that time immediately. So you can say, instead of taking this line, you can say this one. Once you run this program, it will come to the RAM. Next step is your compiler and your processor will start working on your program. Okay, what was the program here? To arrange the data in a sequence. So now when processor or compiler, they will going to work on the program, how they will going to generate the output? They will see that suppose one is saving on some certain address. Suppose for example 101, this is saving on suppose address 103, it is saving on 102. Inside the memory the address is represented in some format, hexadecimal in some format. So don't go in the deep in that. Just think that this is some address that will tell you that at this location 104 your data is present. Now what is the scenario? When you compile and processor will start working on this data or this program that is on your RAM. So how this compiler will generate the output after processing it? When you run this program, how the processor will generate the output? They will arrange this linked list based on the address. So how the flow is, your processor will see the first data. Okay, now this address will going to point to whom? This one. Okay, because after one what will come? 2, right? And what is an address? 102. So here in this part, what address will be present? 102. Okay, it means that it will going to point this node after that. After this 2, what will come? 3, right? So here what will be the address? 103. After this 3, what will come? 4, right? So what is an address? 104. This address can be any value. I took randomly just to tell you. Now after 4 is anything is there? No, right? So we place a pointer, we place a null value there. Null can be represented by x, or you can directly write it null value. Anything you can use it. It mean what? Nothing is present after this. So in this way you can arrange it. Now inside the RAM, your data is arranged randomly. They don't follow any sequence inside your RAM. Okay, whenever we save the data in the RAM, they do not follow the any sequence here. That's why this address will be helpful in arranging the data. Now is it clear to everyone, like how actual the flow is work? I think you might be not seen this before, but this is the actual concept. Whenever you run the program, your program will first come to your RAM, processor will start working on it, you compile the program, and when you run the program, it will generate the output, this one. The output will be generated, this one. And how the output is generated? Based on this. When you apply the linked list concept, inside that linked list, this address will be going to work in this fashion. Means this one data, this is your data, this is what, this is your data. And this 102 is what? Your address. Now hope it is clear. Tejas, is it clear to you?
Yes.
Any question, anything that you might want to know, or you have a like question regarding how it works?
No, understood.
Okay, so like the best example is like a task manager. Okay, when we open this task manager, it shows, right, like which process is currently working. So you see that most of the memory will be get occupied, because memory, you can see it here. Can you see this task manager that I open? Is it visible to you, this task manager?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can see 84 percentage of my memory is filled. Why it is filled? Because you can see right now I am working on this, means I open this paint, zoom is open, you can see the zoom is open, WVPS for a slide and all document. These two are browser. So you can see 84 percentage is filled. Why this filled? Because these all are running. When I will close this, any of this, like suppose any of this application, if I close it, it will going to close. Like suppose here, let me close this. See, now my memory will somewhat will reduce, but it continuously means changing. Why? Because other will take dominating here, because I closed that software, but now these are occupying the space. It will telling you how much CPU is working, how much memory occupy, how much storage is involved, disk or right. So this is an example. So whenever we run any software in our system, software is actually what? Program that is built on some Java, Python, something, right? So when we run this, it will occupy the RAM. So this is the concept behind it. So this is one more data structure. Now the another data structure is what? Your tree. Inside the tree, your data will be arranged in a hierarchy. Like for example, the data will be arranged like this tree concept. You will going to implement this tree with the help of linked list also. But how actually the tree data looks, let me show you, or let me explain you. Okay. Now suppose this is your suppose you can take it an example, like suppose this is our grandfather. This is your some family. I'm talking about one family which is having a grandfather, father, and he is a sibling of this, means one person having two children. So you can say this is first son, this is a second son, and then these are the two children's. This is one, this is a son, this is daughter, and here also the same. Now this circle symbol are representing what? Node. Okay, what is representing? Node. Means this G is what? A data. What data it is holding? That is grandpa, and it is in following some hierarchy. Okay, so node, this is node which is which is having data, and this node, okay, is representing that this node will have a hierarchy. What is the hierarchy? That your father and uncle. This is again having some hierarchy, that is son daughter, right? So each circle symbol is representing the data, the node which is holding the data, right? Here you can see this G, F, U, S, D, these all data that is holding the data. Similar thing you can represent it. Now if I ask you the question, how you can implement this? So this G, okay, the data which is holding in the node is holding the address of this F node. Okay, this is holding the address of this node. That, okay, G is hold, how it is represented in the form of linked list. It can be something like this. This is your G, this is an address, and this address is pointing to this node. Inside this node you have a node F. Okay, means if this node and this node will having list, means it is holding the address of two nodes, suppose, right? Which node? Suppose this one and this one. So you are getting like how you can represent this tree structure in the form of linked list also. This G node will hold the address of F. This F will going to hold the address of some node. Okay, maybe your son then daughter, something like that. If it is a tree structure, then it will be going to hold like this. So like that it happens. Now actually this is a one address I have explained you, but there can be double list also, where you can have a pointer at two side. Okay, one pointer you can connect it with this sun. Let me rub this. This is in a deeper way, means right now you don't need to go in such deep. you can just okay, you just make connection with a D, and this another pointer will going to make connection with this S, right? So each node can hold the address of another two node also, right? So this is called a tree data structure. We have seen queue, linked list, stack, tree data structure. Now one more data structure that is left, that is called graph. What mean of graph? Let me explain you. Now suppose you are on okay, let me explain here like this. This is called as a graph data structure. What is graph data structure? Means data are represented in the form of graph. So this is in which scenario it will be useful. Suppose this is a like suppose you are on Delhi, okay, and you want to move to the Dehradun, or like suppose Jammu Kashmir, okay. There is one way of going to Rajasthan also, and another way to suppose UP, right? These are the node, okay. What data they are holding? That this is representing, this node representing Delhi, this circle representing Jammu Kashmir, Rajasthan, and UP. Now graph data means what? Graph data, you can use it to represent the shortest path between any two city, or it is used to represent the connection between the node. Now if I say you how you can reach to the Uttar Pradesh, so you can say that I will go to the Rajasthan, from Rajasthan I will go to the Uttar Pradesh, suppose you can say it. Some people they will say I will go to the Jammu Kashmir, from there I can go. And there's one more route, this one, direct connection. This is a direct highway, you can say. So graph data are representing what? It's a connection of data. Means it will going to tell you the connection between the different data item. What connection? Because you can see here there's a one path is DJU, one path is DRU, and one path is directly DNU. Okay, so this is a kind of graph data structure. In this graph data structure, it will going to tell you like how you can connect this D node, okay, how you can connect this node which is having the data what? Delhi, to this Uttar Pradesh. So now suppose each node is having some value. Suppose this is an highway of suppose 7 kilometer, this is 6 kilometers. Suppose I'm just taking a random example. Obviously, this Delhi and Jammu Kashmir is not at a 7 kilometer distance, but I'm just taking an example. R and Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh, maybe let's take 15. Jammu Kashmir and Uttar Pradesh, you can take it as a 10, and this one you can take it as suppose 8, means D to U, and this R and J you can take it as a 12. So this, by the help of this value, you can find it out the shortest distance also. Or this value is what this call as a weighted matrix, means weighted value. Okay, Tejas, in your ninth standard mathematics, is matrices started?
No, we haven't started that.
Okay, it is in 10th standard, I think. Yeah, matrices is like how you can arrange this three-dimension data. You might have done work on two-dimension data, rows and column, right? Have you done work on?
Yes.
So how these rows and column they are there? Like, so same thing, rows and column. In mathematics, matrices are there. It is in 10th standard. Means in my when I was in 10th at the time, means CBSE school usually follow the NCRT. So there, it is in 10th standard. So in this, you can represent it in the form of rows and column. Rows in the sense like how many node you have. Like suppose let's take example. How many city you want, state you want to check? 4, right? So give an example like D, next is your R, next is U, and next is your J. Similarly, you take it at the top also. Here D, R, U J. Okay. Now if I say you what is the distance from Delhi to Delhi, what you will going to say? Zero, right? Means it mean that you are standing on the same point and you are asking that what is the distance. Just take an assumption here, okay, that you are on this point and you are just calculating the distance from you only. Now D to R, D to R is what, 6, right? S- Similarly D to U how much is? 12. Okay. Similarly D to J how much is? You can see D, and where is the J? Yeah, 7, right? Like this you will going to fill for every row. So how much will be the matrix it will form? 4 cross 4. Why 4 cross 4? You, because you have a 4 row and 4 column. You can see 4 rows means I have not added the data right now here. For R also you are going to do same. R to D distance, R to D distance your 6, right? R to R will become 0 like this. So it will be 4 cross 4 means you have a 4 row and 4 column. So this is concept of matrices. Okay, same thing we follow here, that is called a graph data structure. Inside this graph data structure, this is a real time example I have given you, like where in which scenario you can use this data structure. Like stack and queue is one data structure. Graph, this tree structure you can use when you want to predict hierarchy. Linked list you use when you have enough memory, and when linked lists are used in every case most of the time. And this graph data structure are used when you want to connect 2 points, when you want to find out the distance between 2 point, or how lengthy the distance between 2 point, what is the relation between 2 point. Like, so these are the different data structure. Now this data structure we're going to use with the help of Python data structure, that is what, list stack queue, list stack, sorry, list, set, dictionary, and tuple. These four data structure we're going to use on with the help of this concept, and we're going to implement that. Am I clear to you, all of you? Do, if you still having any doubt, anything, any one of you?
No.
Okay, so let me explain you today, like how you can run the code. For example here, I know many of you, you know how to work with the list, or maybe some of them don't know. As you all, as I said you, right, that suppose you want to save a element, a single variable, like you are saving here a is equal to 2. Okay, you run this. Oh, why it's taking time? Might be my network issue. So yeah, now similarly if I try to do it, a is equal to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see whether it will work or what. Okay, let's take b and then see is working or what. Okay, let me print it. Okay, yeah, but here you can see that in b you have saved this much element. Okay, this b is holding this much element. Okay, but okay, I think I have used somewhere. Okay, no, not an issue. Yeah, so in b this much element you have saved it. Okay, but it is not taking a. Why it is not taking a? Because the rest of the element, as I said you, it is of an integer type, or you can say like number datas are there, and I'm trying to save a character here, so it is not reading that. If we want to save a group of a data as a single entity, okay, here this will not act as a single entity. When single entity in the sense, with a single variable you can get access to all the element. Okay, so in that case what you will going to use this one. Now this number you can see, This number variable I have save here data 1 to 3, and this square bracket is stand for what? This is a list. Okay, list data structure in Python, and this is holding three data. Now it will this number will be going to act as a single entity, a single variable, and when you want to access it, you can access also. How you can access it? Like print number 0. If you want to access it, let's see where it's working. Okay, what's happened? Sorry, number is okay. I have not. Oh, sorry. Here numbers is there. Yeah. So you can see it is printing one, right? Because at the index 0, my one is present. Now that is only the difference here. This is number is acting as a single entity which is of my list type, and that is a collection which is holding all these three elements. And what I'm doing here, I'm trying to access the element, right? So this is called as a data structure, means I'm trying to access the element of my data structure. Here you can see you will get a lot of example of this data structure: list.append, list.extend, list.insert, list.remove. These all are the different options that you can do it. And this example also. Now if you want to count it, you can count operation also, you can perform here. Like here, if you want to try it, you can try here. Okay, sorry, I need to print it. These are the different example of the operation that we do it in the list. You can see I created a variable fruit. Inside that fruit I have saved this all fruit name, which is of my string data type. String data type means a collection of a character. Now if I want to count how many times this apple is coming, so it is giving 2. And which function I'm using here, this predefined function count. Similarly you can find it out the index also. You can see how many times this count is occurring, one time, so it is showing 1. Okay, let's check it for 2. How many time 2 is occurring? 1, right? So these are the different function that you can use it with the help of data structure. So I'm giving you an assignment. This link I'm sharing on the chat, just open this link, try to run this code. What you need to do it, just open the Colab, as I said you how to open Colab. Type Google Colab, log in with any Gmail ID. You will see this screen, right? Click on the file, new notebook. When you click on this new notebook, such screen will be appear. So here you can run line by line code, and you can see the output. Do you have any question, any one of you? Any one of you having any question? Anyone? Like if you are learning first time, or if you want to ask how to approach this Python to learn. Anyone? Okay. If you this if you want to continue the class, then please contact to the Hackweda. That in that chat session we have already shared the links, and we have already shared all the details in the previous session. If all of you, like if you want to join the class and want to learn Python in more deeper with more example, then you can contact to the institute. And I'm sharing the link with you also. In case suppose you wanted to practice this, then you can just practice here. I'm sending to everyone. Please copy this link. The link is this Python org. This is a good source to learn the Python. Here you can get the example. And basically we today we see the data structure of the Python. So you, from this link, you can explore more on this. Similarly we have a set also, and as I said, you can use this list for performing a stack operation, push pop. You can use this list for doing queue, right? So we will going to see in our next session all these things, like how you can use the Python data structure to do this stack operation, to do this queue operation. Anyone of you having any question, then please feel free to ask, like regarding this Python programming, or like how to the approach this Python. Anyone of you having any question? Okay, yeah. Okay.